Counting Wisdom book reviews, where we review books that are of wisdom, and we also review books of the Bible. Today we're going on the book of Joel. So I took some notes here, and I'm just going to go over some of the highlights that I found that were useful from the book of Joel, and we will go over starting off with the key point. So a key point that I found that was useful for just looking over the whole book and a lot of books of the Bible is that not everyone does what God wants. That seems obvious, but sometimes when we're interacting with people, it's good to remember that not everybody is a Christian or living the way, even if they say they're a Christian. It takes some time to get up to that level of where God wants us to be. And so we usually have something to work on, even if I were to think that, everything that I'm doing is correct. It's not correct. We still have something that I could be doing better. So the first point I want to make from the book of Joel, which is found in the Old Testament, is that his observations about what was going on. So he said that God would pardon crimes if we come to him. But one of the things that he observed is that, the town that he was living in was just being plagued with a whole bunch of different things. Locusts came to eat away the crops, vegetables, and food. And nothing, he said, has happened like this before. I thought that was interesting because we're in a coronavirus pandemic time where we call it unprecedented. Nothing like this has happened before in our lives. And so I thought that was cool because not that the pandemic is cool, but it's cool that Joel recognized that, God sent something to that land that hasn't happened before, ever. The second point is that Joel is observing what the town he is living in is up to. So he's just making observations. He's a prophet, but he's making some clear observations and noting those observations down. The third thing he's up to is that the food is disappearing right before their very eyes. Even the animals can't find food. And so he's noticing that not only people are affected by what God is doing, but animals. He says that the fire has consumed the food. So there's a fire going. Just like we hear in California about a fire burning, there was a fire burning around his time. He says the day of the Lord is here. Joel says that the day of the Lord is a great day of darkness. So he's just interpreting in poetic language that what he's going through is so beyond what a normal day looks like for people. And Joel says that God is doing this so we return to him. Joel is saying that people have gone astray, and God is using these plagues to send a message to people saying, return to the Lord and how you serve him and how you are obedient to him. And Joel says that God is not easily angered. He reminds us of what God is, his character is like. He says that God is not easily angered. He's compassionate. He wants to help us. And then he also said that God may give a reward for returning to him. So there's benefits in returning to the Lord and not just going our own way. The sixth point that I wrote down is that God wants us to be for him. He wants us to treat him as first relationship in our life and first and foremost. Joel says that don't let the people become shamed in the eyes. Don't let the people become shamed in their eyes of other people. Joel says that don't be afraid of the people and animals. Joel says to people to not be afraid, and he also says to animals not be afraid. So Joel is speaking to both people and animals, and he says don't be afraid during this moment. God just wants us to return to him. God disciplines us but doesn't hate us. Discipline doesn't feel good, but shows that God cares. He cares about what we're going through. He cares about the decisions that we make. He cares about a whole bunch of other things other than just sending some sort of plague in order to upset our normal day to day. He actually is doing something in order to discipline us, in order to get us to return to the way that he wants us to live. And the last seventh point is that God says he will cause wonders to happen. God says that anyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. So that's one of the highlighted points that I found stuck out to me, is that God says that whoever calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. We call on the name of the Lord by verbally saying, Lord, please help me, but also in a way of how we live, how we're reading the Bible every day, how we're praying, how we're reading the Bible more than once a day. Throughout our day, unless you remember what you read in the beginning of your morning, at the middle of the day, and the evening, we should be reading the Bible like we eat meals. And, sometimes it helps putting Bible verses like this Bible verse on the wall here that I got from Hobby Lobby. But you can make a paper and put it on the wall, or you can make yourself little notes that you keep with you to remind yourself of Bible verses that you like. And so Joel pretty much says that, God is doing these things in order for us to change the way that we live. And so I think we can apply this type of message to even today in 2020. And so that's it for the book of Joel. The book of Joel is about 4 chapters, and these are just some of the notes that I got from it. Please leave in the comments what you have gotten from the book of Joel, anything that I didn't say. Thank you so much for watching Counting Wisdom, and I will see you, or you will see me, on the next video. So thank you so much, and my name is Ben, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.